welcome back to another episode of Stitches and Sprinkles. I'm Hillary, and this is my podcast about all of my crafting, sewing, knitting, basically anything that I get up to, which is a lot of different crafts and hobbies. So I'm back with another Friday Sews video. This time it'll be a regular update. Last week was a big giant fabric haul, and I hope you enjoyed it. I've already started sewing some of those things, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you in the coming weeks. But before I get distracted, I'll go ahead and follow the notes that I made and tell you what I have in store for you this week. So before I forget, I am wearing the Friday Pattern Company Davenport dress. It's the dress with the cute little flutter at the shoulder. That's the word for it. The elasticated collar detail that adds some ruching and gathering in the front. I'll put in a picture so you can see the bottom, but it's got a drawstring and also a gathered flounce at the bottom. Pockets, of course. It's one of my favorite dresses. It's still really hot here in Georgia, so the long sleeves aren't the greatest option, but I wanted to wear it, so I just turned the air conditioning down a little bit more so that I could wear it because it's one of my favorite dresses. It's made in a lensing, Ecovera lensing twill from Blackbird Fabrics, and I got this earlier this spring, probably sometime February, March, so I don't think they have it in stock anymore, but if you see Blackbird's exclusive pattern drops or any of their Ecovera lensing twill drops, I definitely recommend that you give it a try. It's a really nice fabric to work with and a really nice fabric to wear. So that's what I'm wearing. Finished objects. I do have a couple of finished objects in both sewing and knitting to talk to you about this week. So first off is my Eddie camisole, and I forget the designer of this pattern. I'll put it in the bottom of the screen. But this is I believe a rayon challis from Core Fabrics. I talked about this in my fabric haul a couple videos ago. But the Eddie tank top has a really gently scalloped neckline, spaghetti straps, and then the back is just straight across. You do have to wear a strapless bra for sure, unless you're okay with the strap showing. And I will say that this is my first go at this pattern, and I need to go back and do some additional fitting. It's a little gapey around my underarms and around the neckline, and the neckline doesn't sit as flush to my body as I would like. So I am going to go back and see if I can adjust the side seam and possibly take some extra out of this back piece because it's hanging away from my body a little bit. I think I might have made the wrong size, or it just is not, the block is not the best for my body, but I would love to make some adjustments and get this to fit me in a more comfortable way so that I can wear it, layer it when it starts to get a little bit cooler, and have this fun summer frolic, I believe was what Core Fabrics called it. Have this fun pattern in my summer wardrobe. I did struggle a bit to figure out what to wear this with, so I ended up putting on some lighter blue shorts, but I think as my me-made wardrobe continues to evolve, I'm going to have to think about a couple of options, maybe like a little denim skirt or some other shorts, maybe the Lander shorts. I really like those, maybe in another color of denim that's more neutral, because I have some in like an olive green, but that didn't feel right to me. I'm all for pattern clashing and color mixing, but that just didn't feel right to me. So something to think about and plan for when I do my next designer wardrobe and continue to think about how to mindfully build my me-made wardrobe. So that was my first finished object. My second finished object is an Anna Allen Anthea dress. and I do still need to do buttons and buttonholes on this dress. This is, I believe, an Eco Vero twill, also from Core Fabrics, in a ditzy watercolor animal print, I think is the way that they described this print. I really love this, and the more that I worked with it, the more I noticed the different tones in it, and I'm just very, very happy. I also just love the Anthea blouse and dress pattern, so I'm really excited to get some buttons on this and to get a chance to wear it. Oh, I forgot to put one of my labels in it. I have to add a label from Intensely Distracted. Her labels are so fun, and they always make me excited when I put on my garments. But easy sew, great directions, Anna Allen patterns. I've only ever sewn the Anthea blouse, actually, but I look forward to trying more of her patterns. They're very well drafted and well written as far as the instructions go. I love the neat finish of the bias binding in the collar, and also the way that she finishes the cuffs with a little band that holds the gathers. So I did do some resin casting recently, and I am going to be adding some buttons to this very soon. So maybe I'll wear it in one of my upcoming videos so that you can see it a little bit better. And I'll be sure to grab a picture when I get the buttons on and put it in my Instagram grid as well, so you can see it there too. I think Core Fabrics may still have that fabric in stock, and if so, I will try to link it in the description below. My knitting finished objects, I haven't gotten to talk a lot about knitting in this podcast yet because I had been working on a longer term color work cardigan, and I was getting a little bit, bored is not the right word, but feeling like I wasn't getting anywhere. So I picked up, before we went on vacation a couple months ago, I picked up the Exordium shawl, and I'll put the designer's name down here somewhere. But I picked up the Exordium shawl, and it's just a two skein shawl pattern. It's a nice big triangle shape. It's as wide as my wingspan, which is like 5.5 feet. So it's a good width. This is made in Farmer's Daughter fibers. I think it's the Foxy Lady base. It's the base that is merino with a little bit of silk. And it was really, really nice to work with. It's going to be really nice to wear. It gave lovely stitch definition in the different sections. I think I already said this, maybe not, but I haven't blocked this yet, or woven in the ends, but I am super excited to get that done and to be able to wear it in the fall. See, it's a nice big shawl. It'll keep me warm, and I'll throw it on when I take my daughter to school and when we go run errands and things like that. So I'm really excited about that. And these are perfect colors for me. So that is the Exordium shawl. I will try to link the Ravelry page below as well. And then the other knitting item that it's not technically a finished object because I have, as usual, got installed on the blocking. I only have one set of blocking mats, so I did block this section that I'm about to talk to you already, but I have to do its partner. So this is the front half of the George's tank, and I think this one is Calibri by Joanna is the design name on Ravelry, but again, I'll link it. So it's kind of a slightly cropped tank top, and then when you match your stitch the sides up, and then you can make some really cute little bows at your shoulders with the ties that you knit. So you go on and on and on and on forever and ever and ever and get these nice long ties. And I want to go ahead and get this blocked up and put together so I can wear it this weekend, because it's gonna, as much as I am wishing the summer to come to a quick end, I also want a couple opportunities to wear this before it starts to get cool again. And the yarn is the Illimani Sabri from McKinney Knittery in the colorway Mustard that I talked about a couple videos ago that I got on my trip to McKinney, Texas, when I had to go out there for work, and my best friend indulged me in a ride over to the knittery, the knitting store and fabric store that they have there. Lovely people, lovely place. But so it's the knitting part is finished, but I still have some work to do on this George's tank. But I'm calling it a win because I've kind of gotten my knitting mojo back. So there you go. Okay, so those are all of the finished objects, or close to finished objects, that I have to talk to you about. And I've got 3 works in progress. The first one is quilting, which is another thing that I haven't done a lot of lately, but I was feeling inspired by my new machine and my awesome setup, and I'm so grateful. And I just, having this machine behind me, my Bernina 770 QE Plus, has just made quilting so much more enjoyable again. It's I don't have near the trouble or the mechanical malfunctions that I had on my other machine, and it's got, every time I use it, I learn something new about some brilliant design feature that Bernina has added. So it's made quilting enjoyable again. So I got back to my Elizabeth Hartman flamingo pattern, and I'll show you what it's gonna look like when it's finished. So it's Florence Flamingo by Elizabeth Hartman, and I've had this pattern and the jelly roll that I used for the main fabrics in my stash for a couple of years now, at least a couple of years. I think I bought this at In Town Quilters, and that store is now online only or closed, but they always had the most beautiful modern quilts, and I have so many kits in my stash from them that I'm just drooling to sew up. So I'm trying to work through this Florence Flamingo here. This one's going to be for my daughter. As much as I would like to deny it, she's getting to be a big girl, so she will have to have a big girl bed at some point. And I thought it would be fun for her to have a Florence Flamingo quilt from Mommy for her big girl bed. So, I will get this done. I'm not in any great hurry because that's not happening like tomorrow or anything. But I've got 3. I've got these bottom, the blue-green flamingos are done, and I'm about to move on to the yellow-green. And then I'll get to do the pink, which will be my favorite. I was obsessed with flamingos as a child. I'm still kind of obsessed with just about every bird, especially flamingos and owls. So it's a really fun piece to work up, especially because it's for my baby. So Florence Flamingo is coming along nicely. And then the other thing that I've been working on are some sagebrush tops. This is another Friday Pattern Company pattern. I will drop a link in the description to Friday Pattern Company's website. This pattern is fantastic. It is so comfortable and it's so cute and easy. This ruffle is so much fun, and it works with so many different fabrics. If you're a newer sewist or you want to help teach somebody who's a newer sewist, it teaches a lot of different skills. It teaches binding, it teaches gathers and ruffles, it teaches, I believe these are set in, yeah, it teaches set in sleeves. So, and then these are going, so this is mine, And I'm also making one for my mom in the same fabric and one for my daughter in the same fabric. And we're going to take some pretty pictures. The reason I haven't finished the sleeve cuffs or the bottom yet is because my mom doesn't really want elasticated cuffs. So I'm trying to figure out how we're going to finish it, if we should all finish it the same way. I think we should. If we're going to be matchy-matchy, we might as well go all the way. So I'll probably just end up leaving them flouncy and seeing how that works out, or even making them a little bit shorter to avoid anything getting in the way. But, so this is a fabulous pattern. I'm obviously love it since I'm making 3 of them. And I'm going to have to figure out the grading and everything on my daughter because they don't come in kid sizes. So I'll figure that out when I get there. But this fabric, y'all. This is the Workroom Social Biona or Biana. I'm not sure how Jennifer says it. Collection. And it's a rayon, 100% rayon, I do believe. This is the Everything's Coming Up Roses color design in the orange colorway. I will link the Biona collection below. It is so nice to work with. It is so soft and so floaty. And when I tried this top on, it has a really nice cool hand. So very comfortable, even in the summertime, gonna be nice and light and floaty. And Workroom Social is just a really fantastic organization, company. Jennifer's an amazing human. It made me so happy when I got my fabric order because she gave me an extra half a yarn and wrote me a cute little note and a smiley face, and it just made my day. So thank you, Jennifer. I highly encourage you to check out Workroom Social. They also have a social sewists network. It's like social media, but it's safe from all the trolls. It's all sewists, and it's very, very cool. There are lectures and talks and chats and classes, and it's a really neat platform that Jennifer has created. They also do in-person sewing camp in upstate New York, and someday I will go, and I will relive all of my Girl Scout camp glory days, but it will be even better because instead of riding and taking care of big horses, I will get to sew all day long. So someday I will do that, and it will be awesome. I digress. And my last whip that I have for you today it's in my really cool bag. I got this bag at a yarn shop in Seattle. I believe it was called So Much Yarn. It says Brainy Yak, so it makes me laugh, and it's a yak wearing glasses. It's very fun. And he's got his stack of books with his behind on the back of the bag. It's also a wet bag, so when we go to the pool and stuff, sometimes I take my project out of it, and then I'll bring this to shove anything in just in case, but it washes up really nicely. It doesn't get funky or anything like that. It's a good project bag, and it also serves multiple purposes, so I highly recommend it. And I'll link So Much Yarn. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. If not, I'll put a correction and call myself out. But my newest project is the Wrapped in Graybow shawl by Tiff Handmade, I believe is her name on Ravelry. I'll put that in the notes as well and here. But it's a long kite-shaped shawl, and it was designed for La Bien Amie confetti worsted, or Cori confetti, I think is what it's called. But I have also from So Much Yarn, I got the Hedgehog Tweety, and it's working beautifully. I have no idea if I'm getting gauge. It's a shawl, and don't tell on me to the knitting police, but I do not check gauge for shawls because does it matter as much? Maybe I will regret that one day, but for right now, I'm just gonna, that's the one place where I live on the edge, okay? So, I did not check gauge. It is working very, very well. This yarn is the same meters per 100 grams as confetti, Quarry confetti, so it should be fine. And then for my contrasting, I am holding double my own dyed, the yarn that I dye and make. So Garden of Eden Fibers is my yarn dyeing business. So this is my subtle neon rainbow minis. And so I'm using those held double. My goodness, it cannot even handle this lemon. And so I'm going to have 2 stripes of each color. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to finish it off with more of one of the colors or if I'm going to finish it off because the far edge of the kite has a picot bind off. And I might grab some black, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling by the time I get to the other end and how bright it is with all of my neon pops. But I love it. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so bright and cheery in the wintertime. And I'm enjoying working with this Hedgehog Fibers Tweety yarn. For those of you who haven't heard of or worked with Tweety before, it's partially recycled fibers. So you can see it's got all different colors and things throughout it. And some of it is not yarn per se. Some of it is more, it looks a little like ribbony and it's really fun. It's all different weights. It's all different colors. My batch has a boatload of neon in it. So that's why I chose my subtle neon rainbow for my accent stripes. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm really excited. Alrighty, so those are all of my whips. Actually, that's not true. I just saw this in the reflection of the camera, and this is another whip. I know it looks like a mess. So this is the wildflower, Ditzy wildflower, something like that from Core Fabrics that I talked about a couple videos ago. It's very, very light and very, very floaty. And I am making the Deer and Doe Orchidee blouse. So I promised I was going to twall. I didn't twall. I looked at the finished garment measurements and thought that even if it wasn't perfect, that I could make it work because it is blousy, and if anything, I might need to take it in a little bit at my waist because my bust and my hips are one size and then my waist is typically like a size or half a size smaller. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But anyway, it's not much to look at right now, but I'll plug in a picture of the Orchidee blouse here. But I had to push the pause button on this one for a couple days because I needed rat tail cord. What is rat tail cord, you say? I didn't know either. I had to Google it. It is the very thin cord that you use when you do bridle buttons. And this has 7 or 8 bridle buttons, I believe, on the blouse. So I had to order some rat tail cord. And that will be here in a couple of days. And when that arrives, I will trudge on. I'm going to have to buy some shank back buttons for this. I can't resin cast shank back buttons. So I'm going to have to buy buttons for that one, which is fine because sometimes me trying to cast buttons for all of my projects is a rate limiting step, and I don't want to have a whole bunch of like 98% finished garments hanging in my craft closet. So it's all good. Other things before I say adieu, because we're getting towards like 25 minutes. I don't want to hold you for too long, but thanks for watching this far, at least I hope. Something that I'm really excited about is I just placed my first order from stitchsupplyco. So that's their information, stitchsupplyco. This shop, you can find them stitchsupplyco.com. Their website is very easy to navigate. It is packed chock full of cool stuff. But the thing that drew me to Stitch Supply Co. was the strapping and webbing. They have an amazing selection of strapping and webbing. The widths, the designs. I could have spent a lot more than I did, but restraint is good, especially when I just... So, I got a couple of lengths of different colors of webbing to add as handles to some of the yarn knitting project bags that I make, knitting and crochet project bags, as well as some keychains that I'm going to be adding to the Garden of Eden Fibers inventory. So I got some of this maroon, and this is specifically going to be going on my canary yellow waxed canvas project bags. Those are going to be very, very limited, but they're going to be really, really pretty. So I'll keep you posted, and I'll drop a link to my Etsy store below. Please feel free to favorite my shop. I would very much appreciate it. So that's specifically for work stuff. And then I got a couple of really fun colors to add to some ribbon for keychains. So that is a nice hot pink. And when I finish these, when I get the ribbon on them and get them made up into keychains, I'll show you guys too. These are just kind of fun little in-betweeny projects. It's easier for me to do stuff like this when my daughter is hanging out in my craft room with me, and I love it when she hangs out with me. I encourage her to be in here and to get exposed to all the different things that she can do. And she's already very interested, so it's really fun. So that's the pink, and then I got some, I think they called this turquoise, just nice bright blue. I got some, I think this was called maize. And this is just for me. This is not for making keychains or bags or anything. So this is like a diamond weave. I think it's a 2-inch wide or 1.5 inches maybe. I think it's 1.5 inches. 1.5 inch webbing strap. And I'm going to use this to make a fennel fanny pack. I'll link that pattern below as well, and I'll put a picture here. But the fennel fanny pack is like insanely popular. Many of you, I'm sure, have probably heard of it. Very, very cute, very, very handy. I have like a more sporty fanny pack, but I wanted a more daytime, like when we go to arts and crafts festivals, or when we take the dogs to the dog park, or when I take my daughter to the playground or whatever. So, and I love that bright marigoldy yellow. So that's going to be the belt strap for a fennel fanny pack. And then I got a slider as well, a metal slider to use in my fanny pack. And I'll get, I don't know what color buckle I'm going to get yet, because I haven't decided the color of the main fabric to make it all come together. It may just end up being kind of like a natural, like white or off-white color just to blend in. But yeah, so I'm excited to do that as well. Bag making is fun. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate you being here for another Friday Sews episode. I will be back next week with more updates. Hopefully no fabric hauls, because I'm trying to sew through what I have before I buy anything else. So hopefully lots of finished objects, lots of works in progress, and updates about plans for things that I already have the materials for, as well as some resin. I should have some resin casting to show you next week. So I hope that you find time to be creative this week. I hope that you're safe and happy and healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye!